Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Panic Button podcast. I'm Nina. So after the UK Supreme Court ruled that trans women are not women, the trans ladies got a little heated and took to the streets to protest their right to pee in the ladies' room. And I'm going to react to some clips with you guys because it was unhinged. So let's start with our first one, you see, because they're taking to the streets and they have these ridiculous signs and they are touting some ridiculous things. And it is actually proving women's points that they are deranged and should be nowhere near ladies, especially when they have to pull down their pants to pee. So let's go here.
One street day! One street day! One struggle, one fight!
Go to Palestine. Go to the Gaza Strip. I would love to see how that works out for y'all. I'm sure it'll work out just fine. I'm sure you will be welcomed with open arms and tight fists. So when they say blood on your hands, what does that mean exactly? Does that mean that there are going to be a whole bunch of trans people that unalive themselves? Because I haven't seen it. I have seen hide nor hair of trans people unaliving themselves. And I wonder why. Maybe because it's a bunch of baloney? I'd have to say so. Yeah, they like to do this thing where they use empty threats to get their way. And when that doesn't work, they use violence. So let's see some of these other people. Oh, here's another one. Here's another one. Okay, so that's as much as I can post because YouTube doesn't like swearing. Doesn't like swearing at all. So they're saying F J.K. Rowling because she's standing up and has stood up for women for many years against this crazy trans ideology, phony baloney. So, of course, they attack JK. Funny that it hasn't stopped her from speaking out against this. It's actually emboldened her to speak out more. So I guess what the trans activists were trying to do didn't work, and it kind of slapped them in the face, didn't it? So here's another beautiful, gallant lady speaking out in Edinburgh, Scotland, to oppose the UK Supreme Court ruling that trans woman, a not woman-in-law, a man on a bullhorn, okay, loudspeaker, leads the crowd to chant, "Give us wombs and give us titties." What? Well, I gotta listen to this.
Let's take that beautiful spirit that Kyron's given us. Let's take that confidence that Kyron's given us. Let's take that love that Kyron's given us. Let's not let him chant. We don't need your diagnosis. We don't need your diagnosis. We don't need your GIC. We don't need your...
Isn't it great how their leaders are absolutely ridiculous-looking men trying to present as women, doing it absolutely horrendously, and making themselves look like a bunch of jackasses. I mean, this is more funny than scary. They actually give us a lot of ammunition to make fun of them because it's ridiculous. Now, I know people would say, "Oh, that's bullying." No. Hold on. So you're allowed to bully women this whole time. It's totally cool to bully women, make fun of them by pretending to be them in woman face. And that's totally cool. But when women say, "You're a laugh, you're a gas, you're jokes, and you're doing a horrendous disservice to your own cause," that's bullying. It's like, I'm sick of the libtardation. There's a lot of it. I mean, especially on YouTube. Aside from X, I'd have to say that every social media platform is incredibly libtardish, and you know, they're for the most part they're very much against women speaking their minds and getting angry about all this stuff that's going on. I have no idea what this guy said. Maybe it's the accent's a little too thick for me, but if you're just looking at the visual, you're seeing someone who's absolutely deranged and is going to be mocked. And I'm here for it. So here's another one. This is from Buck Angel here, who is reacting to, LBC. LBC. Don't know what it means. Don't really care. But here we go.
What are they celebrating?
My right.
Oh, he's asking, what are the women celebrating? Because the women are celebrating, yes, we finally got our definition legally in the UK to be recognized as biological human female. And that trans women who are biological men are not in the category of women and they should not be protected by law. They won that. They're celebrating. And he's asking the crazy person on the phone, what are they celebrating?
Rights being taken away. When people think of trans women, they don't think of me.
No.
I'm young. I pass quite well. I blend in society. If you saw me walking down the street, you wouldn't know that I was trans. I sound like a woman. They think of Little Britain. They think of these caricatures of men who have these weird depravities invading female spaces. But I'm just trying to live my life. And everyone around me in real life sees that. And I'm not a danger, and we're not a danger. I would hate to make anyone feel uncomfortable.
See, no, that's the difference between transsexuals and trans nut jobs. Because the transsexuals are like, I just want to blend in. I don't want to cause problems. I don't want to make a scene. I just want to do my thing, live my life, and not bother anyone. That's what the gays did. That's how we got our rights. Because we didn't encroach on anyone else's rights or spaces or anything like that. But when the trans radicals and these deranged men hopping around, prancing around, trying to be women, pretending to be women, horrifically, they come in and they cause problems. They say kill TERFs. They're very violent. They're aggressive. And that has become the face of the trans movement, which has made a lot of people recoil. A giant number of people recoil. And whenever they see a trans woman, they think, oh, this is a deranged man who's going to be violent and nasty towards me. That's what has happened to the trans community. They have become the face of vile, perverted men who want to violently harass and harm women while simultaneously invading their spaces, their sports, their R-word shelters, and all that stuff. And, they made their bed. And the people who are just trying to live their lives, they're going to have to deal with the consequences of the loud, radical men and what they have done to their community. But what I think is going to happen is that these guys who are parading around in frocks and looking absolutely unhinged and deranged, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these guys try to assimilate back into society as men and stop pretending to be women. Which I think we need to remember every single face of these deranged men who have said, kill TERFs, and I'll stab you if you try to get me out of the women's bathroom. Like, those are the people we need to remember. Remember their faces, remember their names, and make sure that these men do not try to run an entire country and control an entire country to believe in their psychosis. You feel me? So here's another news article. It says, trans hoodlums deface statue of suffragette. That's how much they hate women. I just wonder what these vile activists have to do to get some bad press on MSM. I just don't get it anymore. This is 51% of us. Yeah, it's true. The more they speak, the more these trans radical activists speak and show their faces and act out in public, the more you see that this is a hate group. This is a terrorist hate group. This is a group that hates women, that don't want crazy men in their spaces, that don't want them to be told who they can date, that don't want to be told how they get speak. Like, they actually hate women. I don't know what else they have to do in order for more people to understand that they actually hate women. But if you're shitting on the rights of women and on the women who fought for female rights, women's rights, if you're shitting on them, you hate women. Why do you want to be a woman if you hate them so much? Because you want to control them. Because you want to be the new patriarchy. Because you want to be the new king in town. You want to be the oligarchy. That's what these crazy deranged dudes want. And the women who fight alongside them, they're just their little pets. They're not equal to these trans women. No, they're trans women's pets who will stand up and bark on their little leashes at women for not wanting these deranged sex pests in their spaces or to take away their rights. And they certainly want to take away their rights. They've been trying to take away and change definitions and history. I mean, what we have seen in the past 10 years from these deranged people is that they are vile human beings who do not deserve the rights they are trying to take away. See, it's not just them wanting to have rights to just live how they want to live. No, they want women to bow down to them, suck on their female penises, shut up, and do what they say. And I don't know about you, but that don't sound like freedom to me. And that doesn't sound like equal rights. That sounds like a bunch of assholes telling women what to do, which is really funny because they fight also against men telling women what to do with their bodies. So these crazy like men pretending to be women, they're like, I want these men in office to stop telling women what to do with their bodies. And the American deranged men who pretend to be women, they're like, don't tell me what I can do with my uterus. And don't tell women that they can't have abortions. But at the same time, they're telling women what to do and what to say and invading their spaces. And it's like, you're the same men that you're fighting against. You're just a different breed of asshole. So there's that. And then there's a bearded man who identifies as a woman, gave a speech at the London trans protest against the UK Supreme Court where he complains about being misgendered. Like, I'm not going to watch this because I fucking hate feet. I'm like, I can't do it. I'm sorry. Just, it grosses me out. I was a licensed massage therapist for a very, very long time, and now I have a very big issue with feet because of what I had to deal with. So we're not going there, and I could give a flying fig if you were misgendered. Grow a pair. I mean, if you're pretending to be a man, then why are you crying about being misgendered? Aren't you supposed to be tough? No, you're a pussy because you have one, because you were born with one. Like, shut up and deal with it, or just admit that you're a woman with female emotions. Or male feminist emotions. So here's another one. Making trans women use male spaces will cause distress. So why should we care about trans women's distress when they could give a flying fig about women's distress with these deranged men in our spaces, bathrooms, locker rooms, sports? They didn't care about us, so why should we care about them? You see how this goes? It goes both ways. It goes both ways. You see what I'm saying? If you slap me in the face like 10 times, and then I see someone slap you in the face, I'm not gonna care, because you're the asshole who slapped me in the face. So these people are like, oh, I'm gonna cause distress going into the male bathroom. And it's like, why? Oh, because men are gonna see me as this deranged man wearing a dress and they're gonna harm me. Why? Well, because men are inherently violent. Oh! You don't say. So why would women want you, a male, in their spaces if you don't even want to be in a male space? Like, they can't even think. I swear, there's something in the hair dye that seeps into their brain and makes them not only delusional and deranged, or maybe that's how they've always been, but the IQ drops to zero. Just all the way down to zero. Dumb as a box of rocks. And it's just so contradictory that when they speak, it's a laugh. It's almost like a joke. Are you joking with me? Are you being serious? Because you would be a killer stand-up just talking out of your ass like you have been. So much so that you would make people laugh just speaking your truth. I mean, I've laughed a multitude of times at these people and the kind of crazy shit they say. Oh, here's another one. A trans activist with a North American accent gives a speech at the London trans protest on April 19th against the UK Supreme Court. She goes on a tirade against the government for banning puberty blockers for children with gender confusion. It's called having parents who have trans housing by proxy. It's called having teachers and creepy adults around them talking to them about sex and gender when the child doesn't even have a fully developed prefrontal cortex, which means they can't even critically think or comprehend what the adult is saying. That's why you see a lot of children in cults turn on their parents. That's why you see a lot of children in North Korea turning in their parents to the government because they're easily manipulated. You ever heard of Hitler Youth? Pope Benedict? You ever heard of that? You get them young so you can control them the rest of their lives. You infect them with the virus, then they can't get rid of it. It's very hard to get rid of it. That's what they do. That's why like 1% of these people, it's 1% of the population, right? These trans crazy people. 1%. And yet, all of them want to be around kids. That's so weird, isn't it? I wonder why. I think we can deduct why. So, okay.
A year on from Hillary Cass's brutal attack on trans youth, the British state
Hillary Cass, the Cass Review, the Cass Report, brutal attack. You mean stating facts? Okay, so facts are attacks. Got it. Let's go. Let's keep going.
continues to ramp up its tactics. First with the Labour Party permanently banning new prescriptions for puberty blockers for under 18s in December. Shame! And now removing trans women's legal right to define themselves as women.
You can define yourself as a woman, but the law will not recognize you as one. There's the difference. Also, stop fucking with kids, you fucking weirdos.
Shame!
Just like to say, deranged!
Fight racism, fight imperialism, stands in solidarity with trans people.
They're going to mention Palestine. I'm just waiting for the Palestine shit to come up.
We're under attack by the British state and the Labour Party. We oppose all discrimination. We oppose all discrimination on the basis of gender, sex, or sexuality. As communists, we demand free and equal access to housing, healthcare, education, and guaranteed employment.
Okay, these people want communism. Oh, communism never worked. Millions and millions of people have died under communist rule. But these deranged people are going to do communism the right way, right? Yeah, that makes a lot of fucking sense. Okay, I gotcha. Okay, let's let the psychos run the asylum. Well, I wish we had an asylum so we could throw these psychos in there where they belong, away from the public and away from children.
And for all!
What a psychopathic piece of cockapoo.
A year on from the
Puberty, hold on, 1 second. What did the lunatics say?
in solidarity with trans people, we're under attack by the British state and the Labour Party. We oppose all discrimination. We oppose all discrimination on the basis of gender, sex, or sexuality.
Okay. You're not under attack. You're actually attacking yourselves by opening your mouth and speaking and doing all this weird shit. Like, people are going to hate you even more. Actually, more and more people don't just dislike you, but have an actual hatred, like a pure hatred for you guys by what you're doing, going after women and children. When you go after children, don't be surprised when there's a hate mob that comes after you, because now you're doing shit to innocent individuals who don't know any better and can't understand what the fuck you're saying. You are trying to control other people's kids, and that's fucked up. Get it? And the fact that you don't get it makes you even more fucked up. Also, don't lump in homosexuals with your fucking deranged movement, okay? Being a trans activist, a trans ally is inherently homophobic. You feel me? Because if you're telling a lesbian that she has to date a trans woman or else she's transphobic, don't be surprised when every lesbian in the fucking world is a transphobe and touts it very proudly, because our homosexual rights have nothing to do with your deranged lunacy. And your deranged lunacy is attacking gay rights. Yeah. See how that works? Your derangedness is very rapey to lesbians and gay men. You see what I'm saying here? We fought for our rights because we didn't want to fuck with kids. We didn't want to fuck with anyone else's rights. We didn't want to invade anyone's spaces. We just said, can we have our own space where you don't mess with us? Can we get married? We don't even use your churches. We just said, we just want to do this. We want to do our own thing. We're not doing anything nasty in public. We're not invading. We're not telling you, we're not controlling your words, telling you what to do. We're not doing any of that. Just let us be and let us just have these little things. And the country said, okay, that makes sense. Let's talk. But these people are like, you do what I say, or you're a transphobe, or we're going to kill you, or we're going to push you out of places. We're going to take your rights. We're going to shit on you. We're going to harass you. We're going to be violent against you. Like, that is radical. That's terrorist. That's delusional. That's insane. That's, let's take y'all and put you in a fucking nut job house or in a prison, male prison. And then you'll see these trans men who are like, oh, I hope you don't mind when I'm in your space. And it's like, well, you don't have to go in our, you can go in the male room, in the male's bathroom too. I don't care if you go in the male's bathroom. You want to come in my bathroom, that's fine, because I can actually physically take you. I can't physically take a man, but I can physically take a woman pretending to be a man. I actually have a fighting chance. But against a biological male, even if he's shorter than me, it's going to be very, very hard to take on a violent man. Violent trans man? Yeah, I could take you. Let's not try to interweave trans causes with homosexual causes, because they actually contradict each other. Because trans causes actually encroaches on homosexual causes and their rights. You actually invaded lesbian spaces, sued lesbians, were violent, like a vile hatred towards lesbians because they don't want to date you. And then you're trying to change the word lesbian to mean anyone who identifies as a lesbian. I mean, now we're getting into the whole straight man being perverted territory where they're telling lesbians to, you know, oh, you just haven't had a good deep dicking. I mean, we don't need to even go there, but you know what I'm saying. Fucking lunatics, I'll tell you. Okay, so here's another deranged man speaking out against this.
Anyway, this is a public space. It's public media, so talk about manners. But who gives a shit? All right, so
Okay, everyone close your eyes and listen to him again. Would you say that's a man or a woman? You would know that that's a man, right? Okay. Then you look at him. You see how he's standing. You see how he's presenting himself. And you're like, that's a dude. You're not even trying. And this whole like aggression thing, that's male pattern. That's a pattern of men. When you're acting aggressive like that, that's what men do. Women don't do that unless they're absolutely deranged or they have a trans female handler, trans woman handler. Whoa, look at those gams. Look at those feet. What does he have on those feet? What does he have on those feet? You know, the last time I wore shoes like that, I was 4 or 5. Why is he wearing little girls' shoes? Why do you see a pattern of these guys dressing like little girls? Let's think about this for a second. I know where your brain is going. Your brain is going to the place that mine did, which is, he's trying to be a little girl because he wants to invade little girl spaces because he's a fucking creep and he probably wants to touch kids. Yes, I'd have to say you were correct in your thinking. That's an automatic reaction, right? You're like, there's something up with that, man. Something up with that. You're right. Those instincts are correct. And I'm here to say, bravo for having a good sixth sense about these creepy McCreepersons.
Your human rights being demolished. We must take back the streets. March every single day. Stand outside.
There you go.
We must stand there. We must stand there in solidarity and not leave. We must go into the toilets in numbers and say, we are here. We are queer. You will never disappear.
Let's go to the toilets. Let's go. You're going to go into the toilets? I thought you guys just had to pee. Now the toilets are a place to protest? Okay. All right. Well, you just proved our points again, didn't you? Looney Tunes characters. Oh, look at this one. This one's lovely. Bring back witch burning. ... JK. Was like a double entendre or some shit. So, burn the witch. J.K. Rowling, who wrote a book about witches, wizards. So they're just like those radical white people, right? In Salem, who were burning witches, but they weren't actually burning witches. They were hanging witches or throwing them in water, tied up and hoping that they, would float and not drown. So, dude can't even get his history right. Holy moly. They burned Joan of Arc. Okay, so you want to burn women who don't buy into your bullshit. Wow, well, that's very masculine of you. It's also very violent of you and very vile. But you don't arrest these people, right? But if he were to have a sign that said, bring back witch burning to Muslims, well, he'd get arrested, wouldn't he? He would, like right off the bat. Because of that two-tier justice system they have going on in the UK. Okay, well, I see where he stands. In his own shit. Gotcha. Okay, now this one says, you gonna delete us from your browser history as well? No, I only watch horrors on streaming services, sir. But I think what he's trying to say is that a lot of men watch trans PORN, which I guess some dudes do. I don't get it. I'm not into dudes, so I don't know what their whole proclivities are. But yeah, not for me. No, that I watch horror films on streaming. Thank you. Here's the last beautiful one. Hold on one second here. So we have a couple deranged women here, and I got a guy and then a girl, and so you just have to like flip flop how they're presenting. So we have this guy, right, and then we have this chick, and they're all young, so they've all been like influenced by some like PDF files. I'm sure as they were younger. So this is why they're all like radical, crazy people.
I do my business is none of your fucking business. Where I do my business is none of your business.
Where I do my business is none of your business.
Where we do our business is none of your business. Where we do our business is none of your fucking business.
Where I do my business is none of your business. Our biological sex does not decide what toilets we use, our brain does. Let adults decide what toilets to fucking go in. Where we do our business is none of your fucking business!
So if your brain believes that you're a child, does that mean that you go to pre-K? Do you go to the children's loo? If your brain says that it's okay to kill someone, is that none of my business? You see how it gets a little muddy? Also, aside from the big dudes that were the big dude on the left and in the middle, I mean, women can take these people physically if they want to give us a hard time in the loo. Only 1%, and yet such a vile group of people who cause for harm. They call for harm and violence. And you see how that has worked out for them. They've created their own 6 feet deep hole. They're standing in it, and then they're still screaming as if that's going to do anything. But, I mean, you could... Going into the bathroom, like the bathroom has become this place to just stand in solidarity, to stand and fight for your rights. It's like their courtroom. And it's like, I thought you had to pee. I thought you just had to pee. Now, I guess you didn't just have to pee. I guess this was like taking a stand. The bathroom is where you guys are going to take a stand. Because it's not just about peeing. It's about proving to strangers who you don't know that you are biological women or non-binary, whatever. Yeah, that's not going to work. You're actually being hypocritical to the other things that you've said in the past. I don't want your diarrhea in my bathroom. Also, what the fuck? Like, I can't take that dude unless I'm carrying, right? Can't take him. I could take those little wee things, whatever they are, That's a chick, and that's a queer, non-binary, whatever. And then we have dude, chick. I mean, might be able to take this one. Definitely will be able to take this one. But this is the thing, is that now women, when we see these crazy people in their bathrooms, we have to be like, okay, we have to size them up. Well, that's what women have to deal with nowadays. And I thought the bathroom thing was a non-issue, right? The people on the left are like, the bathroom thing's it's a non-issue. It's like, why do you care? Why did they care? Like and subscribe. Have a good day. Stay vigilant, my friends.